Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 and October 2020's events have brought an interesting mood and playstyle to Star Citizen. We have a lot of PvP combat going on, and 3.11's pretty stable. There's a lot of tweaks for combat there. Missiles have been moved out of the extremely overpowered area that they were in, so they're not so super meta anymore. And it's very well done, very well balanced in my opinion, to some degree, at least better balanced than it has been before. Everyone has been given a Gladius, so a free ship, and a very buggy glaive, which I wouldn't recommend using because I had lots of problems with the glaive. But the Gladius is a reasonably solid ship, and throughout October you get that for free. So this is paired with the murder hobos and squads going around. So these are players that are trying to unlock a Vandal mask, a little exclusive hat, a face mask, which can be earned throughout October by killing 50 unique players while in the glaive or any Gladius. So most people are going to be using the Gladius while in the PU, and there are some bugs with the glaive which make it very prohibitive. So you're likely going to be going up against people in a Gladius, flying everywhere, fighting, wanting to get involved in combat with souped up Gladiuses. Now, that doesn't have to be the Gladius they've given you. You could have multiple Gladiuses in your account. You could have them all with different loadouts if you wanted. The combined amount of kills you have in your Gladius and now glaive is all combined together, and bam, when you get to 50 kills, you get that mask up to 72 hours later, as long as you got it in October. So if you are going to do this achievement as legit as possible and participate during October, you'll almost certainly want to mod your Gladius with systems and weapons that you're happy with, better shields, overclock your systems when you're fighting. Distortion weapons work extremely well now when mixed in with other weapons. So the ability for distortion weapons to strip shields is absolutely super powerful. Hanging out Grimhex is probably your best bet to actually fight other players and then respawn and fight them again. You could go around hunting others. I'm not sure what your code of honor dictates for you to do, but players play in lots of different ways. It's a bit more sort of erratic where these fights might occur and where you can get attacked now, because the green zones are not gone, but you are now allowed to fire in them. So you're allowed to shoot your ship weapons in them, and that can mean that you think you're safe and you're not, and someone attacks you and takes you out. However, if they're doing that achieve, they're going to be probably in the Gladius, and the Gladius probably isn't going to go too well in a fight against a size 10 defense turret. That's going to blow that Gladius up, and that player's going to end up in prison. Now, if you're fighting around Grimhex, you're not going to be ending up in prison. You're going to be respawning back in Grimhex. Obviously, if you are running in a group, there is safety and speed for your takedowns to sort of consider, but you might have to share some of those kills with another player. It's whoever gets the actual killing blow, they're the one that gets that counted towards their 50 unique players. There isn't a player-facing count for this though, so Cloud Imperium have missed a trick here. Some form of front-end sort of way that you can see these achievements would be really useful. Please, in the future, when you do things like that, where you have to get a certain amount of things done, or you have to go to a place, whatever, have it as part of a mission, have it as part of something on the UI that we can see and track. Otherwise, it gets really annoying. Some people, I suspect, are going to have 49 unique player takedowns, and they'll be like, why haven't I got my mask? I've definitely done it, sort of thing. So that's an interesting one. Some of my personal gripes of how combat and this sort of event is being handled with other players is really, players will attack you when you straight come out of a hangar at Grimhex, which is annoying, but not so bad. What's most annoying is players ramming you when you're fighting. Doing a 1v1 or whatever, or fighting a group. One of the players in that group decides that they've lost, or the easiest way of dealing with you because you're damaging them, whatever, is just to ram you. Really annoying. You're just, okay, well, you're probably dead as well. They might not be dead though, they might have just rammed you. Now, Cloud Imperium did do a FAQ, and one of the questions asked was, do kills achieved by ramming another ship count towards this too? With them saying, it's possible it counts, but it's more reliable to use your weaponry. Now, that's really annoying as a response. I'd rather them have lied and said no, almost. It does not count. But saying it possibly counts is a little annoying. I don't think it does count, personally. It needs more testing, or less testing. Actually, no testing. Don't test that. It's not in any way honourable, you scum. Players ramming you when they're losing is just pretty rough for me. It's one of my bugbears. Also, I've been playing a few different builds for ships, trying to work out what works as a meta. I'm not great with Star Citizen meta. Most of the battles I've played in turn into DPS races. Now, that might be because there's a lot more average skilled players around, all sort of like participating in this and fighting and sort of like attacking each other. And with distortion weapons now working and missiles really out of the meta, it's an interesting time. The Gladius can take a little bit of a beating as well, and if you're quite an evasive pilot, some of these fights can take a very long time and typically will be ended when a player rams you or gets frustrated or makes a misstep and you can take them out. That is unless you've got a very powerful meta ship. So the distortion weapons, as I said, they can strip shields really quickly and you can end a fight very quickly with the right build. But people running default loadouts, they're going to have a hard time for sure. I feel there's an etiquette to fighting at Grimhex, and generally when you're doing these sort of like battles in the persistent universe where you're trying to get achieves, I don't really like to ram people. I don't think running is a great idea because that just delays everyone getting these sort of like achieves. That said, I do suspect everyone has their own set of honor they live by, and some people are playing for very different reasons, and some people are just going to go hunt down traders in Gladiuses and stuff like that. So I found combat this patch actually a lot more challenging than I have previously. I'm not the best PvP pilot though, especially in the Gladius. I'd rather use something like a Super Hornet or a Saber. Earlier I mentioned this is the most legit way of doing this achieve. So literally doing some solid combat with some other players, have a bit of a fight around Grimhex, maybe go hunt some traders or whatever. However, there are other ways that players are doing this. Org members are fighting each other around Grimhex, so literally getting 50 players on, bam, in a server, all just fighting each other, and then basically they're almost done with their achieve once they've finished all fighting each other. Typically you'll fight around like Delamar or Levski, Grimhex, that sort of area though, but the sort of like evolution of this is death conga lines. So you get a cutlass red, everyone sets that as a spawn point, and then you get most of the people out of their ships in front of one of the Gladiuses, and the Gladius just goes brrrr and takes out this conga line of people, because killing someone on foot is the same as taking out another ship. And as long as you're in the Gladius, you're going to be getting those counting towards your unique player kills. It's a bit silly. And there are whole like Discord groups organising farming like this around Grimhex, around Delamar, that sort of stuff, and other places as well. And that's caused a little bit of controversy. Some people being like, yeah, that's fine, I don't care, it doesn't harm me. And other people being very polarised in the opposite direction. Personally, I'm very much you do you. It's not against the rules. People min-max everything. If people want to try and do the most efficient way of getting this achieved done as quickly as possible, okay, yeah, why not? I, for the most part, want to partake in the event though. Players getting incentivized to fight means that you'll get some very interesting gameplay, and there is something for you to do now and work towards. But if you don't like that type of gameplay, but you want the mask, and you don't want to actively go and kill 50 other players or do all that form of PvP, then I say each their own, do what you want. What seems to have happened, though, is that groups organising the farming of each other to get this achieve are getting hunted then by other orgs which are against them farming like that, and streamers are sort of like infiltrating their groups and then hunting them down again or trying to stop stuff. Some of these groups that are organising this farming, they're pretty chill though. They are very much sort of like, yeah, it's part of the game. If people are going to try and stop us from doing this, that's more content for them. They can also then start to work towards getting their mask by taking us out, and we can try and deal with them and fight them and work out who in our server is a spy or whatever. It's good sort of practice. And I think that's a pretty chill way of looking at it. There's certainly people that don't see it like that. When I was on one of these servers just having a look and chatting to people, I got accused of sharing their secret information with loads of other streamers and hunting them down and stuff, even though I 100% wasn't. What I do think that this event shows, and what it will do in the future, is that it's going to really, really influence future events. They're going to take all the data from this. They're going to go, this works, this doesn't work. How many people did we get in what areas? What were they doing? What sort of complaints did we get? It sort of shows that players with a bit of incentive will do that gameplay. They'll go out in droves and try and work out how to min-max it. But also some people say it should be done like this, and other people say, no, it should be done like that, and other people just don't care. It's really, really interesting how that sort of gameplay evolves, and people build their own etiquettes for it and their own sort of honor system. This event, a little bit more chaotic than I would like, and there's a big element of FOMO, fear of missing out, when it comes to these sort of exclusive items that you can only earn over like a month. So some people are going to want to get that sort of stuff ASAP, really aggressively. It's the same sort of feeling, I suppose, with limited ship sales as well, I suppose. Cloud Imperium are very good at doing their marketing from the marketing point of view, potentially not from a consumer point of view, who fear of missing out is not the best consumer practice that you want to do. It's an interesting one for sure, though. Me and Zin also were talking about there was an achieve in Titanfall called Gooser, where you had to get 50 pilot kills while they were ejecting from their Titans before they hit the floor. Also, a lot of Titan pilots would go invisible when they ejected, and they can move in the air pretty well. So basically, it was extremely difficult to do, to get those 50 kills. And I really ground that achieve until I completed it. Now, 2 weeks later, after I completed that achievement, they said that the achievement was nearly impossible, and they changed it from like 50 to 5 needed to get that achieve. And that really annoyed me at the time. But if players could cheese it, like getting a group of Titans together and all ejecting and then shooting each other, would I be annoyed with that? Like, I don't think that happened. I don't think you could do that. But would I be annoyed with that? Maybe. I don't really know. I am not annoyed about people cheesing it and farming it in Star Citizen, though. I am annoyed about people ramming me when we're doing a fight in Star Citizen, though. That's annoying. I do want exclusive in-game items unlocked by playing the game for sure. I actually think it's a really good idea, and ones incentivizing different types of gameplay makes sense. 3.11 has been a joy to play so far, and the reason I sound a little bit sort of like I was thinking there is because just today I've had a lot of crashes with 3.11. I updated my PC, I updated the Windows and some drivers and my GeForce drivers, and I've had a lot of crashes today. Previous, I think maybe one crash over the entirety of my 3.11 live experience. Today, maybe 8 or 9 crashes, so it's pretty rough. We do know that Cloud Imperium are working on much more sophisticated events for the future already, and I'm interested to know what you think, though. Do you care how other people unlock a mask and that achievement? Do you think it harms the intention of what they wanted to do there, or is it cheap? I was more worried about murder squads roaming around everywhere, but that doesn't actually seem to have happened, at least not as much as I thought. What are your experiences with PvP combat in 3.11? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway for October 2020. It is for a Mercury Star Runner. This highly anticipated multi-role ship is going to be great for small to medium-sized crews that want to do a bit of everything, whether that be cargo running, data running, missions, combat, smuggling, all that sort of jazz. And it's going to be in-game and flyable very soon. All you've got to do to be in for a chance of winning one is comment on any of my videos made during October, including this one. More details down below. What am I shilling for today, I hear you ask? Do you hate it when people steal all of your money and your house over the internet? I know I do. NordVPN may have been invented by wizards to help protect your personal data from the prying eyes of the dark web, a sinister cabal of technomancers that grow in power the more they know about your browsing habits. The true story of NordVPN's origins are unknown and lost to the ages, and without using facts, no one really knows how it provides more accessibility to otherwise censored websites or a safer security experience for all that use it. All I know is that it does, and that when you sign up to it, the power level of my bank account grows, and I use it, and maybe you should too.